has Mike Tomlin maybe lost the locker room a little bit? And depending on how they handle the Antonio Brown, could he maybe regain that locker room if he's lost it?
Well, he lost Antonio Brown. I don't think he really lost the rest of the locker room. I think they respect him, and I think he's a good coach. But the Antonio Brown thing has just gotten bigger than anything. And he's been a burr in his butt for a while. And recall that Facebook Live video that Antonio Brown did in the locker room. I'm surprised they welcomed him back after that one. But he was such a good player, is such a good player, that you have to weigh one against the other, you know. I'm just I'm writing another story on him today and looking at some of his stats are unbelievable.
Right.
Most ever receptions and yards in a 6-year period by any receiver in the history of the NFL, just to name a few. And he led the league in touchdowns with 15 this year, a new Steelers record. So they've overlooked some of this stuff because of that, because he was such a good player. But it multiplied this year, and then it came to a head in that last week.
You know, Ed, but, you know, we talk about Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell before the season was going on with him. Mike Tomlin's always talked it, but it seems that the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, is either shielded from the criticism or kind of overlooked. Is it that way with you guys in Pittsburgh, or is that just something nationally that we kind of overlook that Ben is really above the problem?
I don't think he's much of the problem, Kirk. I mean, he's said a couple things to receivers. They weren't, you know, terrible things.
Right.
I just pointed out a couple things. There have been quarterbacks who have done that in the past. I think he's performed. He's got a couple Super Bowl rings. I don't think Ben has been part of the problem. He certainly hasn't skipped out on his team the way Antonio Brown did. He hasn't missed an entire season like Le'Veon Bell did, right or wrong. I mean, that's his business. But he's always been there, and you know, they really want to give him a new contract.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.